In this part of the world, it is not uncommon to see people borrow, but they don't want to pay back. On today's episode of Your Lawyer's Corner with Mo, we will be looking into a very salient topic: debt recovery strategy in Nigeria. And with me in the studio to discuss this topic is no other person but a legal practitioner par excellence, Mr. Omodolapo Yusuf. You're welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for honoring our
You're
invitation.
welcome. Very grateful to be here too.
Now, sir, to start with, what is a debt?
A debt actually is a liability in form of a sum, a money sum, which you, let me break it down to use the word borrow, which you borrow from a person. And once a date that is set for you to repay back, the day has come and you have refused to repay back, it becomes a debt. While you that is owing the sum is called a debtor, the owner of the money who might later on claim the money from your hand is called a creditor. Thank you very much.
I want my people to understand. If you like, you can use pidgin, you know, just make it very simple for a layman out there to understand.
To make it better and in a simpler form, Yoruba call it gbese,
Mm,
igbese.
mm,
It is when you are holding on to what is not yours. Peradventure money in most times, because that is the legal tender.
mm.
That is the receipts that we use in transactions. Because where there is no money, some things cannot be fulfilled. So it is this money, it is this, we call it sum, we call it money, we call it legal tender. That is what you use to transact business. Probably you might need money at the time. It might be a school fees for your child. It might be money for some other reasons that are important. That's why if you go to a bank and you tell them you need a loan, if you don't make it specific to them, the reason why you need that loan, they may not give it to you. So it is the money. This money is what we are talking about. The money that you collected from somebody, that somebody gave to you to
Okay.
perform a specific task. And also in agreement, there is a date
That you will
upon
pay
which
back.
you are supposed to repay the money back. And you have refused to pay back, maybe due to one challenge or the other. Immediately that day of repayment is due and you have not paid back, it means that it is now a debt on you.
Wow. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So, how do you recover a debt? For example, somebody is owing me and the day has passed, just like you've said. So, how do I recover my money?
Recovery of debt is a process. You know, on the streets, so people just shout, they just go to themselves and then they will be shouting, "Where is my money? Where is my money?" However, professionally, lawyers will advise clients or propose clients that you don't recover your money in such a manner. A simple phone call might do, and the person will just repay your money back.
What if the person is not picking my calls?
You know what? You can just you can send a text. You can go to the person and have a diplomatic discussion with the person on how your money can be refunded back to the person, to you.
So, you mean to say that I should not shout
Yes.
to recover my money back?
Yes.
But some people, you have to shout. Because if you don't shout, they will not take you serious.
The reason why it is not advisable for you to shout on your debtor is because it might lead to frustration, it might lead to assault. And assault will definitely, is criminal in nature. And you don't want a simple civil matter to turn criminal. And you have to invite the police down, police arrest, and then instead of focusing on the money in question, on the debt in question, you start focusing on how you can try, and you now become the accused. You now become the defendant instead of you being the claimant, claiming your money later on when you get to the court. That is the reason why it's not advisable. And there is no way you go to the police or you consult a lawyer to defend you that you won't pay back. And unfortunately, it might even be the money that you might even spend more than the money that the person is owing you
Actually,
to set yourself free from the bounds of the law.
if I want to recover debt now,
Yes.
what is that thing?
You
What's the first thing that you
you
suggest I
I
do?
I suggest you make a call. If that is not working, if your meeting is not working, you can consult a professional to do that for you. A
Okay.
lawyer will definitely help you to write a letter, letter of demand to recover your money back. Okay, you can be lucky. It's not even lucky. Many times we have done it that we just put up a letter of demand and the money is refunded.
Hmm.
The money is refunded because it is no more between you and I now. It's becoming a legal tussle between us. Not that the legal tussle has come, but it's about to. It's like a pre-action notice that if you don't repay my money back, I might decide to take you to court at the end of the day.
Thank you for that brief and concise elucidation. So, what is the power of the court in the recovery of debt?
Well, the power of court is enormous, and then what we tell ourselves, we advise people, court should be the last place of resort. Many times what we just advise is we call ourselves, we want to go into mediation because we see the cost of litigation. It can be expensive at times, depending on the amount of money that is involved. So what we do is that we call ourselves, we have a meeting, we can do a mediation, is an alternative to going to court. The debtor might not even like to go to court because the consequences at times might not be a palatable one when it comes to enforcing the judgment that has been gotten from the court. So it's better we first of all see how we can mediate, how we can call ourselves together, and if the money cannot be paid back in at once, it can be broken. It can be paid
Installments.
instrumentally,
Okay.
just to ensure that it is easy for you to repay back. So that's the reason why we advise mediation. We advise you also negotiate too. Negotiation comes in. You are owing a sum of 2 million naira. You can decide to say, because of the way this debt has been, and you can see what I am using money to do at this moment. Why not let me pay 1.5 million so that I can just go back and relax. If we can do it that way too, so court should actually be the last place of resolution. However, if we are going to consider the court, definitely, like I said before, we are going to be writing the pre-action notice, a letter of demand that you pay my money back within 7 days. It might be 14 days, depending on the negotiation. However, it might be negotiation that you had before. It might also be the agreement that you had. It's possible that you must have drafted a memorandum of understanding in the first place to get the loan, to obtain the loan. So that's you go back into that. You can also consider the clauses that has been stated in the
Agreement.
agreement. If the agreement also stipulates some facts, some things you can actually hide under to ensure that the repayment will not be a problem for you. So you can go back to the agreement. If that one does not work also, then we now consider, and you have written the letter, and the letter, the debtor has failed to concede to the or to respond to the letter. We now decide that we go to court. In going to court has, depending on the amount of the sum that is involved.
Okay.
We have the magistrate court, we have the high court, and then before we now consider going to court of appeal if the judgment is not favorable to either of the parties.
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome. You're welcome.
How do I recover my judgment sum where I am awarded a monetary value of my claims?
Well, immediately you get your judgment from the court, a court that has jurisdiction to entertain the matter. What you do is that, and you serve a copy of the judgment on the debtor. In this case, it has become a judgment debtor because you have already gone through the court process. However, what you do is that you file what we call garnishee proceedings, and there's no way you are going to file a garnishee proceedings that you won't serve a copy of the proposed proceedings on the judgment debtor.
Who is a judgment debtor?
A judgment debtor is the person a judgment has been delivered against.
Okay.
Most times a monetary sum. It might even be going to court for something else, maybe a land matter. It might be a matter that has to do with thoughts, a thought. You understand? Maybe your right has been trespassed upon, and then the judgment, the court has already awarded you a judgment. That you should be paid a special damage. We have the general damage. It can also be probably for injuries that you have encountered in the space of before the time you went to the court, and during the time you were in court, and after the judgment was obtained. So the judgment debtor is the one this judgment has been delivered against.
Thank you so much, Mr.
You're welcome.
Dolapo.
You're welcome.
Then, in all of this, what is the role of a lawyer?
That a lawyer that was caught with the Nigerian bar, we don't take it in that balance. Before we talked about shouting on each other. Maybe you go ahead to go and shout, "Where's my money? Where's my money?" And there are many times. Yes, and there are many times when a lawyer just easily step into matters, not just including myself, and the recipient we are talking to will just because a lawyer is involved quickly sit right. So that is the reason why consulting a professional is of utmost importance. We don't take it the way people on the streets we take it. On the street it can be rough, on the street it can be brutal, on the street it can be merciless. But when a lawyer steps in, it is civil, it is formal, it is straight,
it is legal,
and it is legal. Thank you very much. And definitely you get what you want.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Thank you so much,
You're
Mr.
welcome.
Dolapo, for doing justice to this topic.
Thank you. Thank
and
you very
thanks for
much.
coming on the show.
You're welcome.
And
You're
we
welcome.
do hope that when next we call upon you, you will definitely answer us.
Definitely.
From the crew of Your Lawyer's Corner with Mo, we have this token of our appreciation to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. On behalf of myself, I want to say a very big thank you to Your Lawyer's Corner podcast with Mo Esquire, powered by Forefront Solicitors. We are very grateful. Very grateful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, sir.
Yes,
and that brings us to the end of today's episode of Your Lawyer's Corner with Mo. But before I go, always remember that don't just get mad. Get a lawyer. Do have a lovely day. Bye.